Hello, everybody, and welcome to Knightcap News. We're at the round table here with Justin and Jack, and myself, Anthony. And we have a lot going on today, guys, because this was a packed weekend. I thought we were only getting a Switch release, but we didn't just get that. Then State of Play happened immediately. I was like, cool, well, we definitely got to talk about this Switch release and the State of Play. And then Summer Game Fest dropped. What?
Oh yeah! Never mind. I was just gonna talk, but then there was more.
Yeah, there's more
to talk about.
But wait, there's even more because the Xbox Live
I can't hear anything.
event.
You're all breaking up.
Oh no! All right, well, try to keep track the best you can. But the Xbox Live
table has bad Wi-Fi.
yeah, better Wi-Fi. Xbox Live. There was an Xbox Live event today, too, showing even more games. Some of which we've already seen, some of which are new. A lot of which are new, actually. And so there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're not going to be able to talk about all of it today, because there's just way too much. So, the first thing, though, I want to do a little bit of chronological order. Justin, you had quite some stuff to talk about in regards to the Nintendo Switch 2 release and what happened with GameStop. You want to go ahead and tell us about that?
Well, apparently it was only one GameStop in Staten Island. And I feel really bad because apparently Twitter did its Twitter thing and tracked this employee did it.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh no. They zeroed in and found out it was this specific employee that did it to every single one of the systems.
Well, what did they do? Tell the audience.
Well, I'm sure you've seen it online, which I've seen the pictures, which I'm going to say this is slightly on Nintendo. Because they packed the systems face up, screen facing the box with only a thin piece of cardboard and no padding between it. And GameStop, instead of just taking the receipts to the box, stapled them to the box. So you can probably figure out how that ended up.
Yeah, so I also saw some of the thing. There was no padding, not even between the box and the Joy-Cons. Can you believe that, Jack?
That's the thing I'm like,
yeah, that is a little...
Pack it screen down. Why are you going to pack it screen up?
Yeah.
There should have been some padding in there, too. So I'm like, that's partially Nintendo's fault. But at the same time, a lot of gamers, I'm like, those boxes are collectibles, too. I'm like, we don't want staples in our boxes.
That's true. What were you going to say, Jack?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's just a packaging error. Like,
Yeah.
who has ever moved, like, a TV or, like, anything with a screen with, like, no padding on it? Like, it feels very, like, I know we're in, like, the era of more durable screens and, like, we can dunk stuff underwater and stuff now, but, like...
It is very strange. Like, I get maybe wanting to be environmentally conscious, though Nintendo never struck me as that. But where's the styrofoam between the screen and the box?
Like, it didn't even look like there was any styrofoam in the box because you can see the Joy-Cons next to it, and they're packed in like cardboard.
I'm just gonna propose a theory here at the round table, but like, the Switch basically got announced and then came out, and how long of a period?
6
like
months, maybe?
Like name another console to do that quick of a flip. I think packaging might have been skimmed on to get this thing. Like,
plus, they were making so many of them to prevent the scalpers from getting them. They were just like, get them in boxes and go.
So you think maybe it was a cost reduction thing?
Maybe that is oversight.
Yeah, maybe just to get them out quicker.
Yeah,
like an oversight to try and get them out quicker. Because like, what other console releases have been like this smooth? Because like, my friend walked into a GameStop and just bought one. Like, I have a guy who did that for a PS5 or the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm going to Walmart tomorrow. I'm like, if I see one on the shelf, I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. I've seen plenty of people saying they're on the shelf.
Yeah,
but you're not saying that in like 2020 dread. Like, you're almost saying it like, oh, I'm optimistic I can find one. This is ultimately good.
Tanaka, there is some good news though about a good ending, as we've seen in regards to this Nintendo snafu with GameStop, and that is
they were all replaced apparently right on the spot because they had the inventory for it.
That is insane. That is an insane amount of inventory right there. that $55,000 worth of systems were immediately replaced.
I heard it was about $55K worth.
Yeah. What were you saying,
They
Jack?
had sent them stickers. I guess they sent them numbered stickers because they were the pre-ordered systems. They were like, stick the receipts to the box with these stickers that are numbered, so this is when the person comes in and you're number 14.
Yeah.
But what they've done was they took the numbered stickers, stuck them to the receipt, and then stapled the receipt to the box. Which the whole point of the sticker was to use the sticker to put the receipt on the box.
What were you saying, Jack?
I think Nintendo hitting right before most of this country gets off of school with a giant inventory supply, only to supposedly have a second wave of these things coming around the holidays.
Probably before.
Kind of brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because with this many in stock, I'm like, I don't really see a hiccup until the holidays come. Then they're probably going to sell out. You might have a hard time finding one for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like Nintendo's basically cornered the rest of the year in console sales. Like they have
I saw one at
Q3
Target today.
and Q4. Yeah, these things are
right. The PS5, I'm like, the people already got it. If they wanted the Slim, they've already got the Slim. And honestly, do that many people still care about Xbox at this point?
Game Pass, brother. Game Pass, brother.
I think most people who would get an Xbox...
PS5 and Xbox, the people that have those already have them.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot
Switch 2 is the new thing, and it seems like it's
and
the
people who have those. And the people who have those are going to be getting Steam very soon.
So hold on. So this is actually a great segue talking about Xbox. There was quite a number of things in there that are really that were really cool. A lot of games and everything, but two things I really want to talk about specifically, and that is starting today, day one, all new releases for Xbox will now be day one on the Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, if you have Xbox, even if you have a PC and you have Game Pass on the PC, you can now play whatever the new game is on day one of its release on Game Pass, which is huge.
So I will give it to Xbox. That's the one thing that they still have that's really good is the Game Pass.
Yeah, PlayStation Premium is great, but Game Pass blows it out.
Game Pass is one of the most consumer-friendly things in the market right now for gaming.
That's the one thing I will give Microsoft and Xbox is that Game Pass is one of the best things out there right now.
Yeah.
I love my PlayStation... Sorry, one second. I just love my PlayStation Premium because we make a ton of content from PlayStation Premium. The whole Armored Core series would not exist without PlayStation Premium. But the Game Pass is just way more comprehensive, and it gives us the new stuff. What were you going to say, Jack?
Oh, no, I was going to say, just like the exposure it can do for smaller games. Look what Game Pass did for Expedition 33.
Cuphead.
Yeah.
100%. And so it is truly a great thing. But there's another even more amazing thing that is a beacon for the future for Xbox, and that is they partnered with ROG. If you don't know who that is, audience, that is Republic of Gamers. They are they make systems adjacent to computers. They have the competitor to the Steam Deck right now. But they've teamed up with Xbox to make a portable Xbox. So they basically took an Xbox and they took the ROG portable, Steam Deck kind of system, and they mashed them together. And so now you have this portable Xbox, and it is beautiful looking. It has got the ROG hardware, which is top notch. It blows out the Steam Deck 10-1. Not only is the hardware way better than the Steam Deck, but it is like half the price of the Steam Deck most of the time. And so now that is a huge.
What do you mean by most of the time? What do you mean by most of the time with that?
What do you most of the time on the prices? Steam Deck. So ROG doesn't have as many sales, big time sales as like the Steam Deck will. And it doesn't have as many, I think, different models as the Steam Deck. At least last time I checked. Okay. Yeah, so Steam Deck has a wider variety of models. It could go from $1,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, it looks like this is only going to get this is only going to get two different ones. It's going to be the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X.
Exactly. So
I'm actually looking at the specs for this thing right now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I actually, before I got my computer, I actually wanted to get an ROG to stream from because I was like, there's no way. I'd more likely be able to buy a $500 ROG than I would be able to buy a $2,000 computer. You know, especially this was back at the height of the 3090s, and you know, like people were like, "Oh my God, you can't get them," you know, and it was just insane because we were still having the chip shortage back then in the olden days. So that
buckle up.
yeah, I know, but I don't want to get into that. But we, you know, so this is a really great thing though because even if they don't continue to partner with ROG, Xbox can take this and use this as a way to enter into a different market, be the third player in this handheld computer market that was started by Steam Deck.
I mean, if we're really talking about like, this feels like a thing Microsoft would get into because now handhelds aren't like a Nintendo thing anymore, right? Like there is the Steam Deck and there is like the Asus ROG. There is
portable. What's that called?
Yeah, but that's not really.
It's not the same. Like the PSN doesn't. It isn't a computer on wheels. Like you can't load up Discord. Like it doesn't do what this is trying to achieve, which is being like a Windows or in some cases Linux-based computer that also manages to function as a handheld gaming device.
Yeah.
Whereas like these other things. So like this feels like a thing Microsoft is definitely going to try and get their hands in, and like
exactly
when Microsoft like. They're really good at being like late in something, like late to adapt, but like really quick to innovate. So
yeah, I mean they.
Yeah, this plays out.
When Xbox came out, Sony had already been long established. Their PS2 had long been out. You know, the Nintendo was floundering a little bit, but they had killed off Sega. You know, so it was just Sony and them, and then they came in with the Xbox. And while they never ended up really beating out the PS2 in sales, they beat it out in popularity eventually. Because, you know,
let's talk about the next generation. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 360 generation. Like,
yeah, it killed PS3.
Like that's proof of like how quick Xbox came to adopt.
Exactly.
But then again, it leveled out once around PS4 era. Like, it went back to a 50-50 split. Now we're in a Sony-leaning environment, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's fine. But I think it's... Sorry, go ahead.
I think this is where Microsoft is going to make more interesting moves anyway.
I agree with you entirely.
Because we're getting to a point where consoles are hitting, like, just buy a PC.
Yeah.
To me, personally. Yeah. It's like consoles shouldn't be $700, and like we're getting to that point. I feel like.
And you know, it's funny. I was just talking to my wife earlier. So before the Xbox thing came out, I said, you know, it's getting silly about the consoles because the only reason people aren't buying computers over consoles is because the computers are so expensive. A decent gaming computer is gonna net you around $1,200 if you're lucky. You know, if you're lucky and you find a decent sale. There should be a market now where these companies that build these computers, like NVIDIA, like Starforge, like, you know, whoever.
Okay, but...
Well, one second. They should make a console. They should make a console one that's cheaper. You know?
I'm kind of like adding on to your point, though, which is, isn't that what this is?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, it was insane that I said that, and then all of a sudden Xbox was like, by the way, we're partnering with ROG for the Xbox Ally, you know, or ROG Ally, and here you go, it's a computer on wheels, and look at this, you know, it's not expensive, it's not overly priced, and that's cool. And a lot of people will be like,
if this thing can hang out at like that. If it can be price compatible to a current day console, I think it's got a really good chance of like.
There's another caveat to it. All Xbox games, unlike with the Steam Deck, all Xbox games that come out will automatically be able to be played on this Xbox Ally day one. It will be optimized for this. There is no such thing as an Xbox game that will come out that will not be optimized for this system. which is huge because you could wait years for a Steam Deck, optimization for a game, and that's because it's all third-party games.
Yeah, I was about to say I feel like that's an unfair metric.
It
I
is.
see what you're saying.
It's
a convenient like it is convenient for the end user of the Xbox if that's what we're ultimately agreeing.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Obviously, I can't expect Steam Deck to compete with that because
Steam's a different beast entirely with the amount of shit on it.
Exactly. Now here's the thing. Supposedly, it seems like the Xbox will have that ability to use Steam because, again, they're working with ROG. And there's a lot of integration with Xbox and PC. So maybe if it's not already out there, we might see Steam integration with this Ally eventually. If not this generation, maybe the next one.
If Steam doesn't play ball, I will bet you Epic does.
Yeah, and that will kill Steam. That will boost Epic.
The first one to get Fortnite?
Yeah.
Organically. Because that game is on a downward trend, whatever. It's still huge.
It's still huge, yeah. It's still massive.
Still,
and anything they make in that kind of ballpark will always be huge at first. Will always attract people. Will always attract buyers. Epic Games, regardless of how you feel about their store and some of their monetization practices and whatever, they have the Midas touch right now, even with the downtrending of Fortnite. They still have the Midas touch.
Star Wars season was fun.
Star Wars season was amazing. I am not a Fortnite player.
It was, it was like their lowest played season ever, which I'm like, that's terrible because the season was fun.
I think that has some more. Okay, last off-topic thing before we do the gaming podcast. I think that has more to do with Star Wars as a brand than
being burnt
Fortnite
out.
As a game.
People being burnt out. So let's talk a little bit about what Summer Games Fest brought. Now,
what did it brought?
Were you guys able to check out any? Were you guys able to look at any of the stuff that had come out or anything, or any of the videos of Summer Games Fest? I just want to know, just so I can, depending on what we can talk about.
Was it Splitgate? That's the only thing I really saw anything about.
Yeah, Splitgate.
Is that the name of that game, Splitgate?
Yeah, I'm excited to play that game, which is a shocking thing to say.
It looks interesting.
I think
I saw its Steam numbers the other day, though. I'm like, I think without the controversy, it still wouldn't be that good, because I'm like, those are some pretty bad Steam numbers.
That's true, but here's the thing. I think Splitgate will be the next, if it doesn't die, right? If it survives the controversy and everything, it has the potential to...
Okay, question.
Sure.
What is the controversy?
Justin?
I don't know if it's really a controversy, but the dude made an ass out of himself on stage pretty bad. The CEO of the company, trying to pump up the game.
Don't
know.
What
did he say?
Well, I know he came out on stage. The first thing was, I don't know if he's trying to be witty or fun, but he's got the hat on, make FPS great again. Like, okay, so what do we see? But he went on he wants to return to older games, traditional stuff like Titanfall, Halo, good first-person shooters.
Okay.
By the way, it was our newest game, but it's a battle royale with $80 microtransactions.
Okay, so can I ask you guys a question?
Go.
We're all old enough to remember the last game that tried this, right?
Oh.
What was the last one that tried this?
How well did Bulletstorm, super good game, the return to old school. Yeah, awesome game if you played it, but not a lot of people did.
So here's the thing, though. Bulletstorm was an attempt at returning to that. Splitgate is more of just a battle royale.
It's like Portal with the battle royale. It's battle royale with Portal elements.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's the thing. He made these big grandiose things about we need to return to old school FPS. I grew up with Halo, and that's what I want to return to, and all this, and then announced Splitgate,
and then battle royale,
which is a battle royale with microtransactions. It's free though.
Back to the old, but then you're just going to slap out another battle royale game when that's the flavor of the month still.
Exactly.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it different?
It's got the Portal element, so you can
What makes it
Portal
different?
2, it's got that.
What makes it different, and can't Fortnite do it?
Okay, so here's the deal. This is what it is a battle royale. Characters are in a uniform, right? It is very esport friendly. I love esports, but there's
I do like the aesthetic where it's like presented as an actual sporting event.
Well, here, let me explain. Let me explain my point real quick before we.
I'm just gonna watch the trailer. You guys are bad. You guys are bad.
While
You guys are bad.
while you're doing that, I'm gonna explain why I think this game's gonna be good. And just give me
Splitgate 2?
Yes. Yeah, the first
Yeah,
one.
just came
About.
out like 2 or 3 days ago.
I want you to know the literal first thing I see when I look up Splitgate 2 on YouTube is, does it suck? I played Splitgate 2, so you don't have to. Shout out T Dog Smitty, by the way. You're the man. Let me look at this trailer.
All right, so I think the esport, I think it's going to be good for esports because the characters are very kind of uniformed, like a sports uniform. Oh, what happened? The characters are very much like in a sports uniform. Like a futuristic thing. The gameplay is easy to follow. Yeah, they're jumping around in portals, but it's very obvious what they're doing and where they're going from a perspective of somebody watching it as an esport. And that is one of the biggest problems with esports right now, is that it's hard to tell what the hell is going on. Well, that is one of the biggest problems with esports right now. What is going on? With any normal sport, non-esport, football, baseball, whatever, there is a methodology to it. You may not understand what's going on immediately looking at it, but after watching a few games, you're going to pick up on stuff. And it's easy for others to explain it to you. And that's what I'm getting from Splitgate 2. It's not overly saturated with way too many non-obvious stat-changing components to it. There's the portals to it. The arena are very lit up. Interesting, but at the same time basic enough for it to be, oh, okay, that's what that is, and this is what this is. They can go cover there. This isn't this and that. Plus, it is not just about shooting, it seems. It seems that there is a bigger sporting part to it. I saw them tossing around a ball at one point.
I just finished the
trailers.
Yeah.
I just finished the trailer.
Okay.
I will almost guarantee half of that stuff is not going to happen, because the second you try and do 2 air dashes and do a slide to change your gun to pop the guy, you're just going to get shot in the head.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I've seen you play FPS, but that's definitely going to happen to me.
I mean, you know what? The three of us are going to find out, because it is a free game. It is something that we should.
I think I'm running around in circles shooting at his feet.
I mean, we're going to try this game. I got news for you. Everybody listening, this podcast is going to come out before that episode drops. We're going to be playing this.
Anthony, we're going to teach you a lesson live on the air.
We're going to be playing this.
I would like you to try asking me.
We're playing this.
Before you just you might be playing with a sock puppet and a Jack impression if you don't ask me.
It's free. You don't have to pay for it. I don't feel like I need to ask.
I will give you $5 to not ask.
You can download it, you hate it, and forget about it forever.
I almost downloaded it yesterday.
That's why we never did the first Descendant video.
The what?
That's why we never did the first Descendant video.
We have a first Descendant video. We just never did it together.
There's a reason why.
I'm still playing it.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm very happy you enjoy it. I know I sound sarcastic. I'm not. What am I talking about?
So what I want
RE9?
Wait, you're spoiling shit. I want to talk about first Death Stranding 2, because that was huge for a lot of people. It was also early on into the Summer Games Fest, event. It was a lot earlier on than what other things. And Death Stranding 2. Did you guys beat Death Stranding 1? I didn't. I'm not good enough. What about you guys?
I never played Death Stranding 1.
Jack?
I've seen videos of it.
Anthony, I'm going to ask you one question.
Yes.
Why'd I buy a PS4?
I don't remember.
Why'd I buy a PS4?
I guess it was to play Death Stranding.
No, it was not to play Death Stranding. It was to play Bloodborne.
Oh.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, Death Stranding is on the computer.
I'm aware. I don't want, like, it looks cool. It looks like a game I would much rather watch a video about than play.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I owned
Like,
it.
and that's my, like, it looks fascinating.
Yeah.
But do you know what the last thing I want to do after doing a customer service job is? Go home and deliver packages. Hey, Leia, what do you want to do when you get off work, buddy?
Well, you know what? If we get 19 more followers on Twitch, you might not have to do that anymore. So go on Twitch. Go on Twitch.
Anthony's got a. Go on Twitch. Go on Twitch so Anthony. Go on Twitch so Anthony can get paid.
I swear I'll pay them too. I promise.
There isn't even a table here. This is all lies.
What were you saying, Justin?
I forgot.
Alright, so Death Stranding 2 is coming out. It's a big deal. I didn't beat the game. I did watch Jacksepticeye beat the crap out of the game, though. It does look like a lot of fun. Am I going to buy it? Probably not. Not that I don't want to play it. It's just that, again, I didn't even get around to beating the first one. Why am I going to buy the second one? With that said, the game looks even more insane than, from what little they've shown, the game looks even more insane than the previous one.
That is saying something.
That is certainly saying something, and Kojima is always a knockout with his games. It's rare to find something that sucks. With Hideo Kojima, even in his more unknown series, not a lot of people know about Zone of the Enders. It was a Hideo Kojima project. Zone of the Enders. It is still to this day the best mech game out there, hands down. And I am an Armored Core fan. I am a hardcore Armored Core fan. And Zone of the Enders just fucking craps all over every Armored Core game in existence. Yeah, I beat both of those games. I must have beaten them 2 or 3 times each. So let's skip ahead to the biggest moment of the whole weekend. I don't care what anyone says. RE9.
RE9?
Resident
Oh, yeah, that
Evil
was the big
9.
one.
Requiem. It's Requiem.
So, February next year.
Mm-hmm. Day after my birthday.
Do you think we're gonna get because I think it was in an interview a long time ago. Let me double check. I think they mentioned that RE9 will be the last mainline game.
Really?
I think that was
sad.
a thing. It would be, but also it doesn't mean they won't make spin-offs, and it doesn't mean they won't lie to us and make an RE10.
Yeah. Because I feel like
my brother, it's Horror 101. How many finals are in Final Destination?
Here's the thing. Ever since
let me
Final
bring up a point.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I'm gonna verify this. I'm a bad horror movie fan, but I want to just get this right to prove a point.
While you're doing that, Resident Evil 6.
I just want to prove a point.
Okay. Well, Resident Evil, what was it, 7? Ever since Resident Evil 7, these games have been basically a new type of Resident Evil. That is not like the previous generation Resident Evils. And I feel...
my joke was Jason has 2 movies that imply he dies, and there's still a sequel afterwards.
Jason X.
There's the final chapter, and Jason goes to hell. Guess what? There's a next movie in both of them. But it's weird to think about it, but Resident Evil works in 3s because there's the 3 fixed angle games,
the originals
in the main line.
Yeah.
And then there's the 3 third-person action games.
Yep.
And now we're going into the trilogy of first-person games.
Yeah, yeah. And God, honestly, I think they really just absolutely blew it away though in the first-person games. These games are near and dear to me and my wife's heart. We love the first-person games. They are some of the best Resident Evil games we've ever played, and we've played them all basically. And
I think, unironically, as time passes, people will start the argument of Resident Evil 4 versus Resident Evil 7.
Really?
I think Resident Evil 7 is that good.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 it broke the mold, man. It was
It was the first. Wait, let me bring this up. I just gotta. It is the first scary Resident Evil since 3.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so scary. Now, my wife, Rebecca, she does not scare easy when it comes to, like, horror games or movies or anything like that. You know, she'll get a jump scare. She'll go, ooh, you know, but she doesn't scare easy. We had, when this game came out, I bought it, and I had the PSVR, the OG PSVR. And we beat that game on VR, and I was sitting next to her. She had the VR headset on this time. I'm watching it on TV. It's Easter Sunday. My family, all my family's at the house. Me and Rebecca we're just like, you know, I never beat the game. You know, it's years after it came out. She wanted to play it, so, you know, so we put on the PSVR, and she's playing it, and all of a sudden, she goes to get out of the bathroom and open the door, and the father of the head of the house bursts through the door. Ah, get out!
Family, son.
Yeah, and scares the shit out of her so bad. She screamed. Her screaming made me scream, and then me screaming made her scream again, and she fell backwards out of the computer chair. And my sister, who was staying with us, comes bursting into the room. Oh my God! What's wrong? Was everything alright? And then she sees the screen, the zombies on the TV, and she screams. It was
Resident Evil 7.
Chaos in that house.
Resident Evil 7 was so scary, they had to make Lady Dimitrescu in the sequel to apologize.
Yeah, Dimitrescu.
They were like, sorry for the trauma. Here's a whole new set of problems.
Here's the new awkward boner.
Yeah, we're gonna ruin how you look at women for a couple of years.
Good luck, Gen Z.
Yeah. No,
It
none
really
of
didn't
them.
ruin anything for me, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you're old.
Look, yeah, but also when you remember Elish Norn is canonically 11 feet tall, you're gonna look at that piece of cardboard different.
Yeah, especially the kids. Oh man,
Like that. Okay,
but
Resident
it is so.
I'm not gonna lie. I as hype as I am a little weary about it.
I'm not at all. And here's the thing, because this Resident Evil is not part of the story of the last of 7 and 8. And it's not part of her story either, the daughter's story. You know, without getting into spoils of 7 and 8. And yes, I know the game's been out for a while, you know, but it's not attached to the story that the characters were going through in 7 and 8 at all. It is a completely new story. That's why I'm shocked to hear that they're saying that it's going to be the final mainline one, because that doesn't make sense. Why would you just...
Until you find out that her mold is like specifically a healing mold that deactivates all the G and T viruses, and finally all the evil work of Umbrella is done.
Maybe that's how it ends.
No, I need you to understand. That's my problem, though, is endings suck nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't want it. Like,
yeah.
The last good ending we got was Endgame, and nothing has been good since.
I would be cool if they wanted.
I mean,
I would be cool with Resident Evil just doing a whole new universe, starting fresh with a new universe, even with the T-virus thing, but starting a new universe with the first-person horror thing.
So all you're saying is you want a remake of 1 in first person?
No. I'm not even saying a remake of 1. I'm saying a whole new story, a whole new everything. No previous other things before it. It's not connected to the original Resident Evils. It's not even connected to 7, 8, or even 9.
They kind of did that in 7, though.
Yeah, but they also definitely...
where Umbrella shows up as a rescue squad with Chris Redfield working for them, and...
Well, but it's not the OG. They did bring it. They did tie it into all the original Resident Evils, because it's not the OG Umbrella. It's his Umbrella.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is like he shows up looking just about as young as he did in 7, going, "Hi, I'm Chris Redfield."
Yeah,
like that felt like a reboot of Chris Redfield.
I'm just saying I would like to see it. Nothing's happened before. No T-virus. There's been no zombies. Nothing. No horror stuff. And then it just starts off brand new story, brand new universe, first-person horror, zombie breakout, whatever the fuck. That's it. Boom. Let's go. And then all the subsequent sequels from there on are like first-person horror games because, my God, whoever is developing these now, the developers they have that have been doing this, and the people at the top who've been ordering this know what they are doing because 7 was a banger, 8 was a banger, and I bet you 9 is going to be a banger.
I don't think 9's going to be bad. I just think if it is the last one, like I think I remember reading.
Yeah, I mean, you could absolutely be right. That's interesting.
I could also be wrong and remembering this wrong. So citation needed for the future.
Okay.
If I'm right though.
Yeah.
And how do you clean up? Okay, so now this has the duty of cleaning up everything, right?
Yeah.
Also, how's Wesker back?
Wesker is back? Was he in the trailer for 9?
I don't know. I got linked in a thing earlier. I watched like 30 seconds of the trailer and then I got a phone call.
It's honestly it's fine because I've already forgotten the trailer. I was so hyped that my brain did not retain it all, and I'll be real with you, I did not watch it yet. I do plan on it. Okay, so there is on the horror end of things, there is a new MMO coming out that I am stupid excited for. You guys have heard me talking about it already because I could not wait to tell you. Could not wait for the round table to tell you guys. Chrono Odyssey. This is Elden Ring meets Alien and Predator. It's the Alien and Predator movies. It is insanely looking. It's beautiful. It is a true MMO to its core, while also having this sci-fi horror. I tagged you guys in something in their tagline. It is more than sci-fi horror. It is like body horror and everything. And this is an MMO we're talking about, a massive multiplayer online RPG game. And I have never seen anything like this. Me and Rebecca, we saw Chrono Odyssey when they first teased it over a year ago. And then we heard nothing. We're like, well, that game's dead. That game is gone, right? It's cooked, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then...
real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Just back to Resident Evil real quick. While rumors were suggested it might be the conclusion of the series arc, this game trailer and introduction of new characters suggest that it's actually... Okay, so this isn't wrapping anything up.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm walking into 9 with more optimism.
Whew!
Because that trailer looked awesome. Yeah.
The vapors.
Yeah,
you had me with the vapors.
No, that's my thing. Is like, okay, now that that's lifted, 9 looks fine.
Yeah, 9... good. That makes me even more optimistic. And I was already super optimistic.
Takes my biggest gripe away. I'm hyped for 9.
Okay, cool. The Chrono Odyssey thing. This game is insane looking. I definitely recommend anybody out there, if you're listening to me, go check out this MMO. Even if you don't like MMOs, if you enjoyed Dark Souls and Elden Ring, if you enjoy the Alien movies, if you enjoy the Predator movies, go look up this game. Because, my God, this is a gorgeous game, a horror game, and an MMO game, and it ticks all my boxes to twiddle my little guy. You know? So, I am excited. This is the first MMO Rebecca's ever gonna play. Like, seriously play in any kind of way. She is excited for it. I've never seen her excited for an MMO. We are so excited.
I'm looking this up on Steam.
There is a beta test, June 20th, I think, to the 22nd. You can sign up for it. I think it's an open beta test, so do it. I mean, we should absolutely, if we have the time, the three of us, we should absolutely get on it. It's a free beta test. If we can all three get in, boom, we should absolutely do that and do a video for it, because
I'm gonna watch this trailer, and if I don't see an alien or a predator,
it doesn't have alien and predator in it. It's alien.
I'm just messing with
I know. He's not. But yeah, so I am excited for this game. I am. The thing is that the characters we play as that we make, they are not they're not like Destiny 2 characters. They're not out there with lightsabers and laser guns and whatever. They are very much look like an Elden Ring characters. They're very much knights and archers and paladins and stuff like that. And that is so cool to be mixed in with this cosmic horror element for this game.
June 20th and 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't.
Is that a weekend?
Like,
I hope so, because that's the only way I'd get to try it if I get in. It's probably a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah. And if we have the time,
trailer out when we get off this.
If we have the time, I would like all three of us to play it because guess what? Unlike Night Rain, it is cross-platform. Just saying. I got a bit of tea for myself there, Leia. Why does Night Rain not have cross-platform? Why would you hate your own game so much that you would not make it cross-platform? I was looking forward to this game. I knew its problems. I knew that it wasn't going to be bringing a ton to the thing, but I was excited to play this game with you.
As a guy
with you two.
In the Souls game, Night Rain looks actually pretty fun.
It does. I like it. I like the game overall. It looks fun, and I was very excited at the idea of playing with both of you. I have both a computer and a PS5, but Jack, you only have the computer, and then Justin's only got the PS5. Well, I can only play with one of you then. I'm not buying the game twice.
Do you want to play the game or do you want to beat the game?
Yeah, exactly. Right, Justin. Anyway, but
yeah.
I mean, that I was very miffed that they didn't do that. They didn't even do cross saves, which is even more insane. If you did cross saves, you would have at least encouraged people to buy it twice.
If I didn't go over the limit, I would have refunded Sparking Zero for not having crossplay.
Yeah.
That's how much that turns me off now.
Yeah, that pissed me off too.
With you.
That pissed me off too. That is actually why we didn't do too many episodes of that. I did maybe one episode of Sparking Zero.
The one episode, I went home, bought it,
found
out it was a crossplay.
Yep. Yeah, it was, and then I did one more episode here. I first moved to LA, just because I had it, and I was just like, yeah, new stuff came out for it. Why not? It was a super bummer. It was such a huge letdown that I have not beaten Sparking Zero. I have it. I barely ever play it because it's such a huge letdown. Me and Justin didn't even end up playing it.
Disappointing.
Like most people,
I think I looked at my time. I've already uninstalled it from the PlayStation. I'd have to reinstall it again. I'm like, I need to free up space. I'm not going to play this again.
Yeah.
What's cool is, like, most real Souls fans, I don't have friends anyway, so I already plan on playing Night Rain solo.
I hear they are adjusting things to make it actually
The patch is already out.
The
patch is apparently already out.
Right,
2 days later.
There you go, everybody. If you're lonely and you're an Elden Ring,
they're apparently trying to eventually add something for 2v2.
You know what they should add? Cross-platform! How hard is it? Everybody else is doing it. Fortnite can do it. You can do it.
Okay, so remember that A-Team, B-Team
Fortnite you can play it on your damn phone.
What?
Anthony?
Yeah.
Remember that A-Team, B-Team thing I was talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Night Rain reeks of B-Team is on this, A-Team is on the Duskbloods.
100%. Yeah. 1,000%. And that's the Duskbloods, I gotta tell you, by the way, this is old news.
Bloodborne 2 looks pretty good.
Bloodborne 2 looks great. It's the whole reason I'm buying a Switch 2.
Yep. I'll wait 5 years, buy one, play Bloodborne 2, and then never talk about it again.
I mean,
the console, not the game.
I'm a huge fan of Donkey Kong, so I'm excited.
All the PS5 has gotten is me hacked and somebody a copy of FIFA. So like,
what?
Like not the PS5, the PS4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my PSN got hacked and somebody got a copy of FIFA off my ass. I'm not mad that I got hacked. I'm mad he bought FIFA. I'm like, buy a good game.
Yeah, for real.
Brother, I'll buy you Doom.
Buy him Bloodborne.
Well, I should have, but I didn't want it. That one's mine.
All right.
This man spoiled my Bloodborne machine with a FIFA pre-order.
Ugh, that's disgusting. All right, so there's obviously, again, too much to talk about in this one episode. We're going to be back next week. We'll talk about more stuff. Hopefully, more insane shit won't happen between then and now, and we'll be able to catch up a little bit. Because, boy, we got a lot of catch up. Yes.
Wait, before we go. Old people at the round table. Just before we go, before we're done. How do we feel about tactics?
Tactics? Final Fantasy Tactics.
It's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
what
get
I'm
it.
saying.
Obviously,
Tactics remake.
Yeah,
You guys hyped for that shit?
it's not
I'm waiting
only.
to see. There needs to be a physical, because I hate. For now, they've only announced download edition. Like, where's the deluxe physical edition?
Speaking of being old as shit, but I agree with you. Yeah, I would prefer more physical stuff, especially with what Nintendo's been doing. But
if it's a $20 game, I'm not gonna argue with it.
I think it's going to be 40, and here's
you just want the base game and get it for $20, sure. But I like when it comes to Final Fantasy, I want my collector's edition. Where's that at?
That's true.
That's called the Commander Deck you pre-ordered.
Wait. So here, I do think there's going to be a physical edition because I do remember something about like pre-ordering it and getting
pins
pins
a
or
physical
something.
collector's edition.
Yeah,
I saw it in the trailer.
so there's that. But wait, hold on. The thing about this, the reason I'm excited for this is because it is not just a remake, right? There is the remake version, but in the same game, right, there is a separate game that is a faithful remake, meaning like everything was coded basically to the same, all the bugs and everything, all the jankiness, all the same, OG version on the same cartridge. And I think that's cool. I think that
that is cool.
They're doing that for both games, for Ivalice and the OG and the first one.
That's the coolest nostalgia feature I've seen since the Soul Reaver remake and like the Lara Croft remakes, where they let you go back to the PS1 graphics.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of their things. Like the entire Final Fantasy Pixel remaster, it was just the games, the original ones, bugs and all, upscaled to a modern pixel with colors and everything.
But here's the thing: they couldn't upscale this one. I don't think they have the original files for it. So what they did is they faithfully remade it instead. So it's all new code. Yeah.
So they went above and beyond then. Yeah.
Preserving code wasn't a thing back in the day.
Yeah, and that was a really old ass game. You're the closest.
You want to know what? They don't have the code for Kingdom Hearts. You think they got like original Kingdom Hearts, like the source code? That's why that remake was weird.
So there's a reason for that. That wasn't a preserve thing. They actually did preserve the code for Kingdom Hearts. The building caught fire.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fair then. I didn't know about that part.
Yeah.
I know they just didn't have the code, and I know like a lot of companies back in the day didn't save it. So like
An American sent in their copy of the game to them,
sick.
and they were able to decompile and what do they call that when you engineer something backwards?
Reverse engineering.
Thank you.
Reverse engineering.
Thank you. I'm stupid. Everybody. I went to college and I'm still stupid. You figure that out.
Hey, high school dropout, baby. GED.
So yeah, they did that. The story goes is that somebody sent in the disc, they reverse engineered it, and yes, it is still a little weird, the remake, but for the most part, it is pretty faithful. Because whose phone is that? My God, Leia.
Yes.
Silence your phone during the recordings.
Well, now we have to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, clearly, obviously. Get ready, everybody. Take 5. No. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, AMC. Bring the cinema in here.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us at the round table for some Knightcap News. I cannot wait to do this for next week. And are you guys excited for this new venture that we have on our YouTube channel? Exclusive.
I thought it was a podcast.
It is. Well, right now it's exclusive to YouTube. I'm going to be looking to get it onto Spotify. No promises on that one, but definitely going to be a podcast on YouTube, essentially. Yeah, and this is going to be a new thing that we're going to be doing. So if you enjoy it, make sure to click like, make sure to comment, make sure to share with your friends. Thank you, everybody, for all your support, especially lately with us switching to mostly
streaming
and doing shorts on YouTube. It's been an issue because of lack of ability with editing. But I promise we're going to be getting back to full videos soon. We're going to have the Knightcap News on YouTube also, which will be exclusive to YouTube. So, you can only get it here. You'll only get it here. You won't. This isn't live on Twitch. But be sure to go on Twitch because all of our other recordings of video games and everything will always be live on Twitch first, and then the edited down version will be on YouTube at a much later date. Thank you again, everybody. Love you guys. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.